welcome to the Cultivating Calmness Podcast. My name is Kaela Vance, and today we're going to talk about sleep and your mental and physical health. And so talking today about why sleep is important, some of the benefits and the things that you can do to prepare yourself for sleep, some of the things you shouldn't do when it comes to going to sleep, and possibly some of the supplementation, specifically magnesium, and the effects that magnesium can have on your sleep. So, what are the benefits of sleep? Well, a lot of the benefits we get from sleep are things that maybe we don't exactly recognize or realize. And one of the biggest things is that that's the opportunity for our body to replenish, to heal, to create new cells, and to combat anything that has been damaged throughout the day. And so if you are decreasing your level of sleep, you are decreasing the amount of time that your body can heal and recover. And those days and those times just build up, and you can end up feeling worse over time because you're getting less and less sleep over time. So allow your body to heal itself while you sleep, and give yourself enough time to sleep. Some of the other benefits, it can have improved heart health just because, again, of that, your body is regulating and healing itself while you sleep. So if you're having, high blood pressure or cholesterol and things like that, your body is going to work on healing itself and correcting those things while you sleep. The sleep isn't going to heal all of those things, but as we're going to learn today, sleep has a great effect on stress. And so if you aren't getting enough sleep, you're going to have more stress. And if you have more stress, the effects are going to add up on your body. So that's just something to think about in regards to how much sleep you're getting. It's also good for the same reasons it's good for your heart health. It can be good for like weight management because it helps to regulate the hormone that the appetite hormone that tells you when you're hungry and how much you want to eat. It helps to reduce your cravings and supports your healthy metabolism, all from getting enough sleep. But the other specific things that sleep can be helpful for is your brain function and your mood regulation. So it helps with your cognitive functions such as memory and concentration and problem solving skills. And it also helps with boosting your immune function and regulating your stress and managing and helping with anxiety and depression. So sleep helps with all of those things. It does not solve the problem. So if you have problems in any of those areas, sleep is not necessarily going to solve that problem, but it will definitely help you with those problems. So when you decrease your amount of sleep, you can potentially increase the problems that I've already listed, and you can just increase those factors in your life. So if you're already anxious, not getting enough sleep isn't going to improve your anxiety. It's probably going to could potentially make your anxiety worse because of the stress that you're under and the stress that your body and your brain is under from not getting enough rest. So what do we do to get good sleep, good and restful sleep? So there's lots of things I could talk about here. So I'm trying to squeeze a lot of information into a little bit of time. So I hope that you find some of this stuff helpful for you. But a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about today, you've probably heard of before, you probably recognize and know are going to be things that you kind of know or thought you knew. Hopefully you learn a few new things today about sleep and some of the things you can do, or maybe some of the whys behind some of those things. So things that we should do when preparing for sleep is have a routine. So if that having a routine is like all those things you do to prepare for bed. If it's taking a shower, brushing your teeth, if it's reading, or if you have certain things that you do with your family before sleep, just like if you have children, they usually have a set routine that helps them get ready for bed. This is why having a routine helps to regulate that internal clock that you have and gets you on that regular schedule, like in your brain and your body, so that your body is already preparing for that sleep at that time or around that time every day. And another thing you can do to help you get into sleep and help you fall asleep. So I know working with clients and working with the mental health population, a lot of the things I hear regarding sleep is difficulty falling asleep, difficulty staying asleep, tossing and turning all night, nightmares, things of that nature, but especially the falling asleep or getting to sleep. I know some people, they lay down, their head hits the pillow and they're out. And other people, they feel like they have to do something to fall asleep. So maybe it's reading, maybe it's scrolling on their phone, maybe it's watching TV, because they don't necessarily feel quite tired. That could be for many reasons. One of them being maybe their routine is off and they haven't gotten their body into a relaxed enough state. Another thing is what you were doing, and I'll get to some of the counterproductive things you do in regards to sleep and what you don't want to do as far as that's concerned. But getting yourself into that routine, having a relaxed environment. So cool temperatures, dark room, a quiet space. Some people feel like they need sound machines or certain things on in the background. I'm not here to argue that. Sometimes people find that very effective. I personally like a quiet room, but I have fallen asleep with the TV on. I know, not good. Or, if I'm really tired, there's other things going on. But when it's quiet, my brain can shut off and I can more easily fall asleep. And I did not look up the specifics, but there is scientific evidence to show that having cooler temperatures, specifically like 68 degrees or maybe even cooler, is a good temperature to help your body get to sleep. So I don't know about you, but I know if I'm hot, if I go to bed and I'm hot, I can't fall asleep. So I know like my bed's cold, I like to get warm, but then at some point, if I get too warm, then it's hard to fall asleep for me. I don't know about you. Maybe you have similar things happen. So having a cool bed or a cool bedroom is more beneficial to helping you get to sleep and stay asleep. So something to keep in mind. Again, limiting that screen time, and stop screen time at least an hour before bed. Why? Because of the blue light and how the blue light affects your hormones and affects the production of melatonin. So if you are having a lot of blue light before bed, that can affect melatonin, which is the sleep kind of hormone, which gets you into a restful and relaxed state. And that is not what we want to have happen. So what they say is at least an hour, if not two, before you go to bed to kind of cease all screen time. Or if you can't or don't do that, having some kind of screen protector, the things that go over your screens that block out the blue light. I know on certain phones, they have the ability to turn like the screens red to cancel out all the blue light coming from the phone. So that may be something that you do at nighttime, is to turn those effects on, or have screens or glasses that have the blue light blocking on them. Another thing you can do is to do some relaxation techniques. So if you're one of those people that has difficulty falling asleep, it may be, again, with all the other things I already said, but deep breathing, meditation, maybe some gentle yoga, reading, progressive relaxation. Those types of things can be very helpful for getting you to go to sleep and fall asleep. And then, really just having healthy habits throughout your day. So, having, exercising, having a good diet, not having a lot of heavy, late meals. You need your body to start digesting food before you go to sleep. So we shouldn't be eating a meal and then laying right down and going to bed. I know for some people, depending on your work schedules and things like that, that may be a little unavoidable. So you may consider, changing how you're eating or what you're eating, because eating those heavy meals, your body is not digesting anything. And then you lay down and all that food is sitting in your stomach and not doing anything for a lot of the evening. So trying to not have late meals, and especially heavy meals right before you go to bed, would be helpful. So that was a mix of benefits and, counterproductive things, but to focus on some of the things we should not do. I already mentioned one of them, screen time. So limiting screen time before bed is huge, because it disrupts that melatonin production in your body, and we need melatonin production in our body to get to sleep. caffeine and alcohol. So I did not look up the specific time before I, got on here today, but from my recollection, we shouldn't be having caffeine after 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it starts to affect our melatonin production and our sleep and our ability to relax. So all you people who love your coffee throughout the day and not just in the morning, it can affect your sleep at night. Or, if it's not coffee and it's soda, having that caffeine to keep you awake, it may affect your ability to go to sleep when it's actually time to go to sleep. You may not make that connection because you were just trying to stay awake at, 4 o'clock to get through your day. But it can have that effect later on. And then, it just has a domino effect with your life if we're making those consistent, not so healthy habits and choices. You're going to feel that. If you have an irregular sleep schedule, you go to bed at 9, and then you go to bed at midnight, and then you're going to bed at 10, and then, if you're bouncing all around it when you go to bed, it doesn't help your body regulate. It confuses your body and that internal clock that you had that I already mentioned. So if you confuse your internal clock, your brain, your internal clock's all haywire. So trying to have a consistent schedule, trying to get to bed at a regular time, if you are able to, would be the best thing that you can do. So to avoid those irregular sleep times would be really good for you to do. And then stressful activities just makes it hard to relax. So I know some people, even myself, I've been, in the past have done exercise like at night, gone on runs, after dinner, but before bed, might not be the most helpful thing to do. Morning exercise, a morning run would be more beneficial, for your body and for your, regulating your hormones and getting to bed. So if you're engaged in stressful activities before bed, not necessarily the most helpful thing. So we've talked about the ways to help you get to sleep and some of the ways that aren't so helpful to get you to sleep. Another thing that may be helpful for people who maybe seem to be doing all the right things, but just can't seem to fall asleep, magnesium. Magnesium is an excellent supplement that you can utilize when going to sleep and for other things throughout your day and your life. So I often talk about magnesium supplementation with my clients. Of course, this is not medical advice. This is something for you to discuss with your doctor or your provider. Or hey, do your own research. There's a lot of research out there on magnesium and the benefits of magnesium. There are different forms of magnesium. There's magnesium that you put in like a drink. There's magnesium that's just in like little pill forms. A lot of it is in pill form. There's magnesium that's in lotion form or spray form. So there's all different ways you can get magnesium into your system, and it will promote restful and helpful sleep because it promotes muscle relaxation. It promotes stress reduction because it regulates your stress hormones like cortisol. And it has the magnesium can have a calming effect and affects your neurotransmitter function and promotes the calm and balanced mood. And it regulates melatonin. We'll get a little bit more on that here in a little bit. But magnesium affects melatonin production, which, as I said, is the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. And then it can just improve your overall quality of sleep. So I know I take magnesium supplements, and then I often use a magnesium lotion. Fun fact, and I don't have the specific number, I should have looked that up, but most Americans, and I would say a lot of mankind, is deficient in magnesium. And so if you think about it, if we're deficient in magnesium, we are likely deficient in our melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. And so all, those things cycle and are connected. And if we're not getting enough sleep, it affects our mood. And when our mood is affected, our life can be affected, and it's just this great domino effect. So when we talk about sleep, it's not just to check a box. It's not just to say, hey, are you getting enough sleep? Yep. Okay, done. No, when I ask people about sleep, I'm wanting to know how well are you sleeping? Is it regular? Are you having nightmares? Do you toss and turn? Is it difficult for you? Do you feel rested when you wake, or do you still feel dragging and tired? Because that to me indicates the quality of sleep that you're getting. And magnesium is one of those supplements that could greatly affect you. Now, a lot of people supplement with melatonin, which is the hormone, and there maybe are some mixed reviews on whether melatonin taken on a regular basis is good for you or not. But as I just said, if you're deficient in magnesium, it's going to affect your melatonin. And so if you're supplementing melatonin, but you're not taking magnesium as well, just imagine the effects that can have. Same with, as I've talked about before, if you're taking vitamin D, but you're not also taking vitamin K, right, there's going to be an effect from that. And you're not really actually getting all the benefits out of your vitamin D if you're not also taking vitamin K. The same thing here. You can take melatonin, but if you're deficient in magnesium, you're not going to see those full effects, and it may not work as well for you. But I've also seen and heard from people that melatonin has opposite effect for some people. Same with things like lavender. Lavender can be very soothing and relaxing and calming for some people, but it can also be kind of activating and stimulating for other people. But for the most part, these supplements have the effect of calming and soothing and restfulness. Melatonin also, not melatonin, excuse me, magnesium. There's different types of magnesium, and depending on where you look and what sources you're seeing, you will see that there's anywhere from maybe 7 types of magnesium to 12 types of magnesium. So I found a list of 12 different ones. A lot of them seem to focus on 10 or 11 different types of magnesium. So really there's lots of types of magnesium out there, but the most common ones that you will probably see if you go to the shelf at the store to buy some magnesium and you look at the back on the label, what you will probably see is magnesium citrate, which is the type of magnesium which does help you if you are low in magnesium, but it also is the most beneficial if you need to, if you're constipated. So if you need to go to the bathroom, taking lots of magnesium citrate, which can be in powder form or liquid form, will make you poop. Okay. Another common form is magnesium chloride, magnesium oxide, and the one that you've also probably heard of is magnesium sulfate. So if you take Epsom salt baths, that's what you're taking, magnesium sulfate. But the best type for sleep is magnesium glycinate. So we'll get some more on that here in a minute, but some other types are magnesium L-threonate, magnesium malate, carbonate, taurate, aspartate, hydroxide, and gluconate. So those are some of the ones that I found, and each of them has a different thing they are helpful for and helpful with. There are supplement companies out there that have all of those in one supplement. So the more types of magnesium you have, the pricier it gets. So the cheapest type of magnesium are those magnesium citrate, oxide, chloride. Glycinate is a little more expensive. L-threonate is a little more expensive. So they get more expensive depending on the type. That's just something to keep in mind, but they each have their own thing. And so if you are having, if you're wanting help with your mood, I believe that's L-threonate. And so taking that helps with the regulation of some of your mood. Now, it's not going to solve your problems, but again, this is just knowing and looking into the different types of magnesium that can be helpful for you, what their properties are, what they actually help with, and what they can do for you. Magnesium glycinate is helpful in getting you to like more calming, more relaxing, into like more stress relief. It does not have the laxative effect that citrate does, and it also helps aid in anxiety, depression, that insomnia, again, that sleep and that stress management. So if that's something that you need help with, that is the type of magnesium that you probably want to be looking for. And it may not be the most common type found on the store shelf. This may be something you may have to either order from a specific company or maybe order online versus you may like finding it on a shelf in a store. So what happens when we have low magnesium? Which I already said, most of us are deficient in magnesium. So if we're deficient in magnesium, what does that mean? Well, it means we can have low melatonin production. And if we have low melatonin production, what does that mean? Likely difficulty sleeping and falling asleep and staying asleep. So when we don't have enough magnesium, it causes that low melatonin production, which is required for the conversion of serotonin to melatonin in our pineal gland. It's up there in our brain, our pineal gland. It causes an imbalance in our circadian rhythm. It decreases the melatonin receptors, which affects like how effectively melatonin signals our body to prep and prepare for sleep. And it can increase our stress response if we don't have enough magnesium. So having enough magnesium is important. If you are stressed, you likely need magnesium. Okay? I just want you to hear that. If you are stressed, you likely need magnesium, and it may be something you should look into. And lastly, I want to finish with morning sun. If, it is here, noon. And so if you haven't been out today, start tomorrow. I mean, it's always good to get sun no matter what time of day, but morning sun before noon is best for getting your body and resetting and in setting your internal clock. So we've talked about that today. Melatonin, magnesium, our internal clock. Getting morning sun helps to regulate our internal clock. It helps to suppress melatonin production. Okay, so if we're getting that morning sun, you walk out into the day and you just get sun. Even if you cannot see the sun in the sky, the sun is there. It's coming through the clouds. Your body is still taking in that vitamin D. It's still getting that morning sun. Even if you cannot see it, it is there behind the clouds. It is still beneficial for you. As some of you may have experienced yourself, you can still get a sunburn even if you cannot see the sun. So that's how we know, right? So getting morning sun helps to suppress melatonin production. It boosts serotonin in your brain, and serotonin is what we need to function, to feel good. When we're depressed, we don't have enough serotonin. So if you are feeling depressed, getting out, getting morning sun can help in the production of serotonin in your brain and in your body, which again helps with melatonin production at the end of the day when you need to be going to sleep. Which then, of course, sun, because of those things, helps with your sleep quality and your ability to fall asleep later. So if you do anything today or tomorrow, I guess tomorrow at this point, get outside and get some morning sun. And that will start you off right for the day. 5 minutes, get 5 minutes of morning sun. I would recommend more, but something is better than nothing. Although you want to get as much, as you can. And I know a lot of us work in offices, or going to school, things of that nature. Even myself, I can see the sun. I don't always get it on my skin. And so it's sad when I can't get outside. I can see the sun all day, but not necessarily feel it all day. So I understand the difficulty, but if you have those breaks, if you have a 5-minute break, take your 5-minute walk, get the sunlight, come back inside and continue on with your job and your duties. So to recap, melatonin is affected by magnesium. And so if we're deficient in magnesium, it will affect our ability to sleep because our melatonin production will be down and our serotonin will be down if we aren't getting enough sunlight. So when I talk about these things, everything is connected. It's not just we can have one without the other. If we get enough of this, we may not be getting enough of that. If we don't have enough of something, it's going to cause another production in another system in our body to also be depleted and to also be drained. So it takes a lot to be healthy and to get your system back in order. And that's why I like talking about these things, is to give you guys a good idea of different things you can do to promote overall mental and physical well-being. And today's topic, sleep and melatonin and magnesium, are important for you to get regulated sleep so you can have overall mental and physical well-being. So I hope you learned something today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week for Cultivating Calmness.